What's going on, guys? Neil Guides here, and today's video I'll be talking to you about the new patch which is referring to the nerfing of first time finesses. I wanted to make this video because I think there's a lot of misinformation about some of the terms that are mentioned in this pitch notes. I think there's a lot of misinformation going around, and I kind of think I tested it the correct way, and I just thought I'd give you my take on it. So this is the fifth new patch after the game came out. The pitch notes did come out on the 6th of December. The link is in the description below, so do read that to find out more information from EA themselves. But the update came out today on PS4, I think also on Xbox as well. Today's 11th of December. As usual, timestamps are in the description below, so if you want to skip to the conclusion or skip to a part which interests you the most, please feel free to do so. So getting into it, long story short, first time finesses are allegedly meant to be nerfed after this patch. Just to make it clear, they are talking about first time finesses, not normal time finesses. So if, for example, you have possession of the ball, if you basically get the ball and you control it and then you take a shot, this is not what this patch is referring to. It's referring to a first time finesse. So that is when the ball arrives at your feet, you don't control the ball, you just take a shot straight away, immediately. That's the first thing. So normal finesses are apparently, according to the notes, untouched. So this is tested against AI. I did test this on Rivals and also offline, as in squad battles as well. The results were exactly the same, but the footage I will be showing is from squad battles. The reason why is because Rivals doesn't really give an accurate representation, because when you play Rivals you're playing online and players move goalkeepers around, so it's going to skew the results. So the best way of doing it is against squad battles. I did do it against Courtois, which I think is the best goalkeeper to save first time finesses. He's a tall goalkeeper, he's got good stats, good positioning, good diving, so it's important that he's a good goalkeeper to do this. And secondly, I use players that are above average. So I'm not really using a player that's got low finishing. I'm using players like Neymar and Nedved who've got good finishing. So try to make it as accurate as possible. I think Mahrez also scores a few goals as well. So the first thing which I think there's a lot of confusion around is what is actually lateral ball velocity. Now I don't want to overcomplicate things, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, so there may be little things that I miss out, but I'll be explaining the key things just to save your time. So lateral ball velocity is not referring to the speed of the ball arriving at your feet. I know there's a lot of prominent YouTubers out there, and some people have been thinking that lateral ball velocity is referring to the speed at which the ball is being played to you. So they're essentially saying that, you know, your first time finesse is dependent on if the pass given to you is a driven pass, a normal through ball, a normal pass, a threaded pass. The patch doesn't really mention that at all. So let's take it for face value that the ball speed is not affecting first time finesses. So that's not what lateral ball velocity means. What it actually means is it's referring to the angle at which the ball is being given to you and at the angle at which the shot is being taken at. That's the key thing to remember. The easiest and simplest way to kind of get an understanding of this is a bit basic, but essentially if you are facing away from your target, the more further away you're facing, the harder it should be to score. That's what effectively should theoretically happen. And also the direction at which the ball is being passed to you and the direction you're facing when the ball is received and when you take the shot first time, it also affects the results. So do bear that in mind. Just going into it, just going to show you the images that were released by EA in the pitch notes. If we look at both the pictures, we can first of all see that it's taken by Eden Hazard. It's 100 shots taken by him, and there's two visual representations, one before the patch, one after the patch, and the lateral ball velocity in both these pictures are 86.25 degrees. And the first thing you're probably going to notice is there's actually not that much of a difference. Yes, the shots that miss do go a bit wider, but they're still off target. Blue refers to all the shots that are on target, and red is all off target. First of all, you'll see out of the 100 shots, there's not that much of a difference. Maybe not all of them go in a corner anymore. But if you do play FIFA, you will know that it doesn't matter if the ball doesn't go in a corner or not. Even especially in first time finesses, you do see sometimes that the ball just curls around the keeper if it's in the middle of the net. So that's what the key problem is. Another problem is it doesn't really say if it's a time shot, like is it a yellow early shot? Is it a green perfect time shot? Is it even a grey, which is not even timed at all? It doesn't really say that accurately, so we don't really know. So let's just assume that it's a normal finesse shot, and that's all we have to go on basically. But the best way to kind of gain an understanding if this actually affects is by doing some tests. So the way I tested it is against Courtois, as I said, and I used a variety of different angles. So I received the ball from different angles, also different speeds as well. Even though it doesn't make that much of a difference, but I also did driven passes. I just did a lot of different things just to see if there's any difference, and as you can see, it's exactly the same. If I show you this footage and I told you that this is post-patch, I actually noticed no difference. It's so insignificant that I didn't even notice any difference in first-time finesses. And the worst thing is, some of these are not even perfectly timed. Some of these are yellow, and some of them are not even timed at all, but they're still going in from these angles. An example here is of Nedved. So if you just look at Nedved, I'm just going to break this down. He's completely facing away from goal, and he shoots first time facing away from goal. And the worst thing is, it's not even green, it's yellow. It's an early shot, and it still goes into the corner. So the truth is, the results are there's no difference. It's so insignificant. If there is a difference, it's so insignificant you won't realize it in a normal match. If you maybe score, let's say out of 100 finesses you score 90, maybe you might score 83 or 85. You won't really notice that much of a difference in a normal match. Especially now in terms of time finesses, everyone's moving keepers now. So it's kind of, are you guessing the right way or who can react quicker? So now I think it's up to the player as an individual to save it. Because the problem is not with time finishing. Yes, I can agree that first time finesses are a bit too accurate. They shouldn't always go on target. But they shouldn't be nerfing first time finesses. They should be buffing how the goalkeeper reacts. There's been so many goals that I've conceded and scored where I'll do a first time finesse and the goalkeeper can actually save it. But instead, even if the shot's not in the corner, he still fluffs the save or he just lets it go past him. And I think that's the problem. I think if they just buff the goalkeepers, it will fix the whole entire problem just for first time finesses. But anyway, that's the video. As I said, there's no difference, no significant difference anyway. I just say players you normally play. If you haven't played yet and you go on and play a game right now, I promise you won't notice any difference. But what I would say is, I test this with above average players like Nedved and Neymar and Mahrez and the likes of those kind of caliber players. So results may differ. So let's say if you have, for example, if you have a player with 75 finishing, maybe it won't be as accurate. But I use these players because you're probably going to have these players in your team. You're not really going to have someone with 75 finishing taking a shot. But anyway guys, I hope this video helps. I hope in the future they do release a patch in which they change the goalkeeper's reactions to first time finesses. So maybe just in first time finesses, when it actually happens, goalkeepers are not so far off their line. Maybe they're a bit closer to their line. So if a first time finesse does go in, it only goes in if it's in the corner, not if it's kind of just near the keeper or just curls around them in the middle. But I hope this video helped. As I said, there's practically no difference. I have an in-depth guide coming out for finesse shots and first time finesses. I didn't want to release it earlier. I know loads of people have been asking me about it, but I didn't want to release it just in case the patch kind of changed the way finesses work. But I think this will be it in terms of how they're going to change shooting. But anyway, thanks for watching guys. I hope this helped.